Alright guys, what is going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm talking about the new Boruto Chapter 59. Now, I know I'm a bit late, but this chapter is, it's alright. Has a bit of information, gives off a lot of Kawasumi vibes to me. Finally get to see Eida's brother, which goes back to a couple of chapters when she's like, my powers don't work on blood relatives or Otsutsuki's. Anyways, let's get into the chapter. So the cover page of this chapter is Kawaki, and it says Knights along it. Now, if you look at Kawaki's color, his color's changed too. Now, it has like a brownish color to it, kind of different than every other cover page we've seen so far, and who knows, that could be Kawaki's new attire soon come. Anyways, getting into the chapter. So this chapter shows a lot of Kawaki and Sumire together. Now, the thing I want to point out is Sumire is really concerned about Kawaki this chapter. She shows a lot of like care. As you've seen throughout the chapter, her face keeps panning in and out. They're purposely giving her face, they're purposely giving emotion. This is what I like about Kishimoto's writing, is that he's giving a lot of emotion to the characters now. Like even at the end of the chapter, you see Sumire look a bit to the left, like she's a bit like upset and like she's a bit shocked about what could happen to Kawaki. Like it gives a good amount of emotion, which I like, which what Kishimoto is doing is good. That gives me a lot of Naruto Shippuden type vibes, where all the characters had a lot of emotion behind their faces and everything. So then getting on to it, you see Amado wants to get Kawaki's karma back. Now he was telling Kawaki, he's like, get the karma back. He's like, you're still an Otsutsuki, but you can get your karma back. He's like, you're not gonna be human ever again, which is what Amado's implying. Now we don't know what Amado's intention is. The way he looks at Kawaki, he's like, I could get you the karma back. He's like, that's not an issue. And he's like, I know you want the power to protect the 7th Hokage. He's like, you're just like me. We'll go through anything to get our goals done. Now, if you look at Amado's face, it gives like a weird, sinister vibe. The way he's smoking a cigarette and looking at Kawaki, it's like he's trying to manipulate a kid. And then, you know, Kawaki gets cheesed and he leaves the room after he attacks Amado. The way he's talking to Kawaki is like he's trying to manipulate him. He's like, get back your karma. He's like, you'll have a same karma to Code. It won't be soul karma where it holds the soul of the Otsutsuki, but it'll be one of power. He's like, you're able to access all of Ishiki's power, which, you know, makes sense. But the thing here is, what is Amado's idea? What is his plan? Even Sumire questions him. She's like, what are you up to? Now, the thing I want to get into here is, I think Amado wants to bring back his daughter. I think he plans to revive his daughter in Kawaki's body. That's why he wanted Ishiki's karma gone. The way Amado gives off her vibe, even back a couple of chapters after the Ishiki fight, when he came back, he was so concerned about Kawaki. Maybe Kawaki's the perfect vessel where he could implant karma onto him. And Amado wanted Ishiki's karma gone, which is why he went through all this great deal of lengths to destroy his karma and make it disappear. That's why it disappears on Kawaki first, when Kashin Koji attacks Ishiki. And I think Amado is gonna implant his daughter's data onto Kawaki using the karma. That's why when Sumire says, you're basically gonna reconstruct the karma, and he's like, yeah. So he's basically gonna reconstruct the karma to his own liking, and I think he's gonna reconstruct his daughter's DNA or his daughter's data onto Kawaki and let it grow out over time. Because even Amado mentions this chapter, he said that answering Boruto's karma is not a bad idea, but he's like, Code's not gonna wait around for the karma to extract. Same thing here is Amado's gonna give Kawaki the karma, and then he's gonna let it extract. Kawaki's not gonna know. Kawaki's gonna think he's accessing regular powers. For all we know, it could be a manipulated karma where it has the face of using Ishiki's power, but underneath it, it's actually his daughter's data being extracted. Now, like I said, Amado went through great lengths to remove Ishiki's karma seal on Kawaki, which is why he plans to bring back his daughter. As he said to Kawaki, he's like, you and me are same. He's like, we'll go through anything to achieve our goals. So he did all this to achieve his goals. Yeah, he planned that far behind. That's what I think about Amado, the way he's all suspect. Now, getting on to the other part is, Sumire asks Amado why he would want to reconstruct the karma. And what reason is there? And he gives off a menacing look to her. Says that he was really worried about Kawaki when he got back from the Ishiki fight. She questions Amado, and Amado says, are you stupid or are you smart? Now, Sumire is doing kind of both, but she's trying to extract as much information from Amado that she can. But then Sumire says that she wanted to become his assistant to help Kawaki and Boruto rather than, you know, trying to spy on him. Now, I want to point out here for the Borusumi fans and the Kawasumi fans and everything, her wording is strange here. She says Kawaki and Boruto. If she really liked Boruto, she would have said Boruto and Kawaki. That is a true thing. Depending on how close you are to that person or how important that person is to you, you'll base off their name. In alphabetical order, Boruto comes before Kawaki, the B and K. But she says, I'm concerned about Kawaki and Boruto. Kawaki being her main thought and Boruto being the afterthought. Well, I think Kishimoto is building up on Kawaki and Sumire rather than Sumire and Boruto. I think he's changing Kodachi's idea because probably he didn't like what Kodachi was doing, and I think he wants to change that up himself, which is why they removed the Borosumi stuff after Boruto and them leave Dr. Katsuke's lab, which actually makes sense to me. Anyways, getting back to this, you can see that she cares about Kawaki more here. Like I said, the whole chapter she's worried about him. And if you look at her eyes give off the feeling that she's really worried about Kawaki. When she mentions to Amado that he was motivated by other than Kawaki's well-being, she cares of his well-being as well. The eyes give off a lot of emotion similar to Sarada and Boruto after the Momoshiki fight. Sarada's eyes were reflecting the sky as she admires Boruto. The way Sumire was questioning Amado, her eyes were kind of like really scared, worried vibe about Kawaki. And then you see Kawaki sitting on the stone face. And then she says, Amado, what are you planning? Now this stuff is all just a Sumire, Kawaki, and Amado talk. But like I said, if you look at her eyes are giving off the look that she's really worried about Kawaki. It's like she doesn't know, but she's slowly falling for Kawaki. I hate to shut down my Borosumi fans, but there's no moment in the manga, even in the anime thus far, except the beginning of the anime when they built a little bit of Borosumi, but barely anything. Me personally, I'm a Borusara, but I'm just saying the way she cares about Kawaki here is the same way Sarada cares about Boruto. When Boruto was, anytime he's injured or he's hurt, or even when he's, anxious or feeling scared, she sees it and her eyes change along with it. Same thing here. Kishimoto and Nikimoto both gave off that weird look in her eye that she's really worried about Kawaki. Yeah, I know I'm going off quite a bit on the Kawaki stuff. Anyways, that's that. We don't know what's gonna happen to Sumire. I'll get to my theories right after. Now getting on to Eida code and all that stuff. Not gonna lie, Eida looking kind of thick, bro. He's looking kind of thick. Jeez, I hear a knock on my door. Hold up, I'll be right back. Nah, all jokes aside. Eida says that it is painful to see Kawaki scared of Code and that he is scared of Code hurting Naruto. Eida tells Code to let the Hokage off and Code says no, since he let Kawaki off. Says that Ishiki was his god and they killed him, so he needs revenge. Eida tells Code not to mention that she is a part of Code's plan to take down the Hokage and everything because she doesn't want Kawaki hating her. But then Code mentions, he's like, what would you do if you and Kawaki are alone and he tries to kill you? Now this part here is really important because Code didn't say that Damon wouldn't be here. What I mean by that is, look at Aida's eyes. She looked at Damon as a last resort type thing. The way her eyes look down, she's like, I really didn't want to do this, but I have no other choice. She's like, I have another knight, which is her little brother. And the thing about Damon is that he can reflect any attack. So the thing here is, Kawaki tries to kill Eida, then Damon could reflect Kawaki's intent or attack back at him. That's why she's like, I didn't really want to do this, but I have no other choice. There's a reason why she brought out Damon, but it looks like she didn't want Damon out. She thinks of Damon as troublesome by the way her face looks. That is her, her real blood brother, but it doesn't look like she cares too much about him, as Damon cares for her more. But Damon has a serious, sinister look, and I don't know what this guy's plotting. He looks like a brat, and I kind of want to punch him. Like, his face has like that punching looking vibe where he'll be so arrogant and bratty that you just want to beat him up. But I think Damon's gonna do something to either Sumire because of Eida and Kawaki. Eida might be jealous of Sumire and having feelings for Kawaki. The other being that Himawari gets hurt or Himawari takes on Damon. Himawari doesn't have that type of, attacking feeling where she doesn't feel like she needs to go on offensive a lot. But then again, we don't know, but I feel like Damon's gonna do something to Himawari because they look like they could be the same age. And if you look at Damon doesn't look like he's 10, 12 years old. He looks like he's 8 to 10 years old, same age as Himawari. Now you know why Eida mentions that her powers don't work on Otsutsuki's and blood relatives, because they were planning to bring out her brother soon, which is why she specifically mentioned it. So that means she's not Amado's daughter as we thought, but I still think Delta is Amado's daughter. The way Amado was looking at Delta after Jigen came back from the Naruto Sasuke fight, he's like, don't worry Amado, everyone's wishes will come true. And he stares at Delta, and Delta's like, stop staring at me, you creepy old man, which makes kind of sense. Now the other thing I want to mention is when Damon comes, he attacks the guards and they reflect their intent to kill, because his power is to reflect whatever's coming at him based on his intent to kill, so he'll get stronger if you're more serious about killing him. Eida does not tell Code what Damon's weakness is. There has to be a weakness. What I mean by that is Eida says to Code that her powers don't work on Otsutsuki's and blood relatives. She says those two specifically. Then she also mentions that she doesn't like fighting. She's like, I don't like these barbaric acts, but she's like, I only know taijutsu. Now why is she telling Code all her weaknesses? She knows Code can't hurt him because he fell in love with her or whatever, but the thing I'm saying is she doesn't tell Code what Damon's weakness is. He just says his powers are to reflect any attack coming at him. I think she might betray him in the future. Now, there's a part here where Code mentions that he could fight Naruto one-on-one, but not if Sasuke joins, which means that he may be able to take Naruto as of right now with Nine Tails missing, but that's with his limiters on. If he takes his limiters off, we don't know what his powers are. But remember, I want to point out, all the cyborgs made, including everyone in Kara, is not stronger than Ishiki. Ishiki is the strongest boss in all of the Borutoverse as of right now. Now, what I mean by that, go back a couple of chapters. Even Amado says Code is stronger than Jigen. Keyword here is Jigen, not Ishiki. Remember, Ishiki was strong, but Jigen, he's weaker because of the body stuff. But he's still pretty strong because Jigen took on, Sasuke and Naruto, but he ended up using all his chakra anyways. Even in the Ishiki fight, it was pretty hectic unless Beiron mode wasn't there. Anyways, like I said, Code says he could take on both Naruto and Sasuke, but not on one-on-one, meaning he'd lose against them. Now, a really important part here I want to mention is Eida. Eida says to Coach, like, we're not going to do anything yet. We're going to look for a perfect opportunity using my Sen Raigon. She's like, when the time comes, my Sen Raigon clairvoyant will be able to tell me. Now, this part is really important because she's mentioning the time skip. She's saying we'll take our time with this, meaning Code and them aren't going to attack right now. They may attack, they may not attack, but I'm assuming they are not going to attack. Because the way she says it, she's like, we'll find a perfect opportunity. Because remember, she needs to get involved in Kawaki's life. So I think it's going to be after the time skip when she gets involved in Kawaki's life and he's a bit older. He'll be at least, say, 16 years old by then, and she'll be, I think, 20 or 18. I don't know, wherever she is. It'll look more better with that. Right now, they're going to train Boruto, Sarada, and I think maybe Sasuke and Naruto might train too because they know a stronger threat's coming. But the way she says we'll take our time, I think she's mentioning the time skip, meaning they're not going to attack now, but they're going to attack in the future. Now, one thing I want to point out is the fuck is the Senraigon and how does Amado possess such technology? How did he create these cyborgs that are stronger than humans and stronger than gods? I remember back in the day when he had the Sharingan, Byakugan, Rinnegan, those were eyes that came from the gods. Now in this, we have eyes that are made by a fucking scientist that outpowered those eyes. Like, wait, what the hell? Like, sorry, they don't outpower them. They out-ability them. All right, that is what's messed up. Her eyes are able to see the present and everything. So if she sees attack coming, she knows someone's gonna attack or whatever it is. That's for a second. Her powers allow her to make anyone fall in love, meaning she can control them if she wants to. And then you have Damon. Damon can reflect any attack coming at him based on the intent to kill. So if you try throwing a knife at him to kill him, guess what? That knife's coming back at you. That makes no sense. How does Amado make these cyborgs? They're basically stronger than gods then. Like, I don't understand that. Now, the thing here I want to point out is, what is Amado? Amado is real suspect because you don't know where he possesses this technology from. For all we know, he could be a different race. He could be an Otsutsuki possibly, or he married an Otsutsuki and he had his daughter which died, which I guess, like I said, he wants to implant the karma back onto Kawaki using his daughter's DNA because his daughter could be an Otsutsuki for all we know. I'll get into that stuff later. But yeah, I'm saying, how does he even possess this technology? It's crazy. But yeah, like I said, with Damon, I think he's gonna do something real messed up and sinister to Boruto and the friends and everything. And like I said, I think he's gonna do something to hurt Sumire or something like that, and Kawaki's gonna hate Eida or something along those lines. Like, he looks like a snotty brat. Like, I want to punch him type of snotty brat. But the thing I like about his face is the fact that he gives off the Akatsuki type of vibe. He gives off the vibe of all the messed up characters, all those guys. Like, he gives off a nice type of vibe, like Deidre. Like, he wants to kill, like he wants to kill for fun, which I kind of like. He gives off that. That's what I like about Kishimoto's writing. Anyways, that's stuff for the chapter. Now let's get on to the theories. Now, like I said, how does Amado possess this technology? That's the problem with Boruto. What happened to all of them during the Moon Eye back in Shippuden War? Like, that's the part I actually want to talk about a bit. Is, did these guys not see the infinite Scumio and stuff? But the thing here I want to point out is, I think Amado, when he went into the infinite Scumio, he saw a dream where his daughter was alive, and I think he went to chase after that dream. And again, his daughter died 12 years ago. It was 2 years after the war ended, so I'm not sure. But I think Amado had a real good dream in the infinite Scumio, and I think he wanted to conquer the world or whatever, some shit like that, and maybe he follows through with that plan. But then his daughter dies, and then he's like, I'm gonna go through any necessary ways to get to my goals. But yeah, like I said, what is Amado's goal? What I think is that Amado plans to revive his daughter on Kawaki, since he says he will reconstruct Kawaki's karma to give Kawaki the power of Ishiki. But in reality, he's gonna make a custom karma of his daughter's data and put it into Kawaki. As he mentions to Kawaki, that Boruto idea is not bad, that putting Boruto's karma on Code, but Amado says Code wouldn't wait around for it to be extracted. Now, Amado may put the karma on Kawaki for now and let it decompress over time. Also, another thing I want to point out is, if Amado made these type of cyborgs with these powers and eyeballs and everything, he should be able to get Sasuke's Rinnegan back. Seeing how these guys are making people stronger than normal human beings and close to the god levels, I'm pretty sure he has a way to bring back Sasuke's Rinnegan. And now, we don't know if Eida is a real cyborg or not, or whatever she is, but she was created by Amado, or she was a human that was turned into a cyborg by Amado, whatever. But she has eyes that are dangerous. Now, Now, if Amado is able to make those type of eyes, I'm pretty sure he can make the Rinnegan. Now, I saw a theory online, someone saying something about Senraigan being half of the Jogen. Now, that does not make any sense at all. The Jogen is a different type of abilities. There's nothing given much on the Jogen except the way we've seen it work, but that's about it. It can only see the dark emotions. I'm gonna make a separate video on that because I actually want to prove a lot of people wrong. Everyone's saying it's the God's Eye. It's the most powerful eye of all time. There's nothing said about it. Only thing Urashiki said is a troublesome eye because I think he was able to see the portals before they appear. Similar to the Senraigan, where the Senraigan is able to see real time. Now, Boruto's eye is able to see where the portals open and all that stuff. And it has the powers to see chakra lines and everything like the Byakugan and so forth. But we don't know much about his true powers yet. Anyways, I'll make a separate video on that. Another thing I have is I think Boruto will get the same karma as Kawaki and Code, as they both will have white karmas, which they'll be able to access the powers of the Otsuzukis without the soul being there. And I think Boruto will get the reconstructed karma as well if he gets rid of Momoshiki, because he'll still be an Otsutsuki. But if Boruto goes into a new body using the karma, Boruto implants his own data onto another body and revives himself, he won't be an Otsutsuki, I believe. I think he'll be back to his normal genes. Also, with Boruto jumping into another body, I think that's how he may get the Jogen in the manga. But like I said, I'll explain more of the Jogen in a different video. Now, the last thing I want to add is Amado. I think Amado will use Sumire to manipulate Kawaki. By the looks of it, Amado looks like he will do something to Sumire. He might kill her, remove her memories, or sacrifice her with karma for all we know, and bring his daughter back. If he low-key wants to put karma on Sumire, who knows? But the other thing is, I think Amado might use Sumire as a sacrifice. If Amado makes Kawaki a god, like an Otsutsuki god, and Kawaki summons something similar to DBZ, how they summon the dragon to revive people and all that sort of stuff. But I think in Boruto, they're gonna summon something. It's gonna need a sacrifice. I think Amado's gonna play with Sumire because she's gonna try getting as much information possible. She's getting close to Kawaki, and I think Amado's gonna hurt her, kill her, or remove her memories and manipulate her to manipulate Kawaki, and maybe even sacrifice her in the end so that he can revive his own daughter. That's what I think Amado's gonna do. My biggest bet on this right now is Amado plans to revive his daughter in Kawaki's body, or let Kawaki transform into a god and maybe let him summon something with, like I said, similar to DBZ, but that's what I think. Anyways, this is what I think of this chapter. There's a lot of stuff I went through. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and there's more videos to come later on.